Assalamu alaikum, good morning. This is the Advanced Comparative Constitutional Advocate Gulrez King, and today is the 12th of the October, and as per my daily routines, I was observing a lot of the legal fluctuations of the laws in Pakistan that after observing the vagabond approved criminal offender of the states in the public streets, they are basically raising the offenses of the public nuisance, which means that creating certain or uncertain amount of the noises sure in public place in order to ascertain the bread and butter. So meanwhile they are ascertaining the public nuisance income, which results to the negative sleeping disorders of the human beings who are working moderately in their lives. So they are offending the public in order to ascertain the bread and butter for their children. I raise here a landmark question that if they do not have the sufficient reliable sources as to occupy a position in the public sector, that is their own sole failure. If they was failed in their life and they are just in the public streets in order to acquire or ascertain the proper reconcile mediums of the incomes and expenses through creating the offenses of the public nuisance, through offenses of the private nuisance under the Pakistan Penal Code 1860, that they are creating hurdles in the night sleeps, in the day sleeps, in all of the territorial jurisdiction of the Lahore. The whole of the residents of the Lahore cities under the residential means, commercial means, you can observe this voice outside my house that he is creating the noise. That is called the offense of the public nuisance, which offends my eardrum in the night time, in the daytime, and I'm out of my senses after observing these vagabond approved state wonders of the state institution or private institutions or private individuals who are creating my sleeping disorders in the night time, in the daytime, because he is who is creating the noise outside my house. He is such a pathetic person who is doing drugs while just raising the public nuisance in the public streets, while there is no administrative or quasi-administrative judicial organ which can conduct the auto audit under the Article 187 of the Constitution, Article 183 of the Constitution, Article 184 of the Constitution, void Article 199 of the Constitution, and there is no reformative method of having the intellectual thoughts to be reformed in the public judicial organs, that whether such stupid individuals who are earning in this modern digitalization age through raising their voices in the public sector should not be punished. This is the landmark question. I raised this question since the year 2022, that if a person becomes insolvent, poor, pathetic out of his choices in the public sector, and he is creating the public nuisance for the ill-mannered and ill-solutioned failures of his own pathetic needs of the lives, thereafter no one is liable for his failure in his life. So he should understand that there must be the public nuisance department, public nuisance control noises department in the Pakistan, especially as to control the noises offenses in order to create an atmospheric resolutions under the Environmental Act 1997, because I found this offense as well, that environmental disorders comes from the secondary offense. When the public creates the nuisance, they becomes brave in order to create the private nuisance offense. These two collateral and collective offenses, meaning thereby whenever happens in the public sector, the public always negate their own recognition after observing this offenses in the eardrums of the human beings, after having the medical examinations of the 75% of the human beings, that they don't have the accurate length of control of the eardrums, and thereafter they are losing the intellectual thoughts to be restored in the public sector. They have created the motorbike 125, which creates the hurdles and public and the private nuisance offense under the Pakistan Penal Code, and we are not into the habit of observing the intellectual failures of such human beings which are creating the hurdles in the public sector. Thereafter we are observing the huge pathetic resolutions of the human beings who are just wandering here and there in order to crack the nuts of the earnings of the someone else. They are busy in the small jobs like street wandering and other street theft criminal offenses are being held within the public sector, and thereafter no one is considering this offense to be an offensive attitude of the public. But if we go in an a broad country, or we go to a moderate country, we observe that they have well-reformed in uniform laws, and they punish such offenders who create the hurdles in the public sector. But we are not observing these conjugal noises relationships of the human beings, which creates hurdles in the one's life, and one individuals always feel embarrassed as to control his health hazards, health issues. So a human who is old, infirm, sick, and is suffering out of the vulnerable challenges in his life should be accommodated with the perfect mediums of the household management living standards. But in Pakistan and in the Middle East countries, due to the poverty factors, they do not create the poverty factor before consummation of marriage. And after creating a lot of the children, they comes in the public streets by offending the public nature, and after just having a begging position from the other one, they just create hurdles in the lives of the others while mobilizing the noises. And they don't control their noises in the public sector. And in Lahore city, after my observation, the poor individuals who were born poor and who have made a decision that they would have remained poor because they don't create the creative ideas as to modify their income and resources, are always in your way as to waste your time and your money, energy. So you have to be very cautious as to observe these intellectual public nuisance offenses in the Pakistan, because we observe these absurd thoughts of the public, that they don't carry forward such moderate thoughts in the public ways as to entertain their thoughts. So meaning thereby we are not collectively understanding the failures of the society, and we are not willing to tolerate such abusive ways of critical thinking, that we are basically playing with the mental health of the public, because no one is having a proper sleep diet in the Lahore city because of these vagabond approved criminal of the state institutions, such individuals of the state institutions who are using the public roads, public sites as to increase their wealth through begging, through doing small jobs which are illegal, should be rectified, should be modified in the Pakistan Penal Code for the well-reformed unions of the laws in Pakistan, as to provide the shelter of convenience to the rest of us as a human being. So these are my formative factual obedience regarding the public nuisance offense and private nuisance offense. That's why I dislike public gathering in Lahore city. Stay blessed. The advanced comparative constitutional advocate Gurez King.